Hi everybody! What is important to know with Swiss German consonants is that the B, the D, the G and the S are always D-voiced. It doesn't matter where in the word they are, if they're word initial, word final, in the word middle, they're always D-voiced. So Baum, Baum, which means tree, Baum, it is almost a P basically. It's not Baum, Baum, it's really Baum. Then the C, as in A, B, C, when we, recite the alphabet, we say C, but it is almost always pronounced as a G, G, which is not aspirated, not anything, not voiced, it's just G. As in, for example, clown, clone, 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 and it's spelled with a C, or Cornet, Cornet, which means ice cream cone, the cone thingy, Cornet. So that's how we would pronounce this C. I think there are some loan words, basically from another language, maybe Latin or something, like Caesar, and we would say Cäsar, Cäsar, even though it's spelled with a C, but usually you would pronounce it as a G, G. Then the F is just normal F, F. Then I already talked about the G. Then the H, a normal H, not the CH, which I will talk about later on. The H is almost like this one, similar to the German Ich laut. It is just kind of a flow of air. For example, in the word Horn, Horn, which means horn, basically. Horn, you hear the air. It's just Horn. It's like when you want to clean glass or something, you do this thingy. Yeah, that's how you kind of pronounce it. However, we also have the silent H, as in the word Ahnä. Ahnä meaning to suspect or ancestors. It can mean both. Ahnä. After the A, there's a silent H. Basically, what the function of this H is to prolong the first vowel. So it's not Ahnä, it's Ahnä, because there's this H and it's just silent. You don't pronounce it. Then there's the J, which is J. That's just Y, pronounces Y. Y, as in Ja, meaning yes. Ja, just normally Y. Y. Okay, then we come to the K. And what is important to know about the K, the P and the T, in English they're aspirated. And usually the phonetic sign would be a P or a T or a K with this little H on the top, which means aspiration, as in Peter. Try saying Peter or Paul in English and put your hand in front of your mouth and you will see that a lot of air comes out. We don't have that in Swiss German. When we say Peter, we say Peter, Peter, Peter. So it's almost like a D voice B, basically. And that's a fact in Swiss German, that the B, the D and the G, as well as the P, the T and the K, however, not the K but the C, which is pronounced as clone, as I said before. I know this is complicated. They all fall together. So P and B in Swiss German sounds the same. T and D sounds the same. The C and the G sounds the same. Yes, so always D-voiced or unaspirated. The K is always pronounced like this, k, k. It is this noise where you do the K, but it also sounds like you're trying to spit. K. It's really back here, uvular, I think. K, k. So then there's the L, which is just L, L, L. And as in Lippä, meaning lips, Lippä. Then we have the M and the N, which are just pronounced the same way as in English. And then we have the P, as I said, it's just unaspirated. Then we have the Q, which, as I said, we call Kru. And you can already tell it has this k again in the back. And when we say it like this, same as the K. K. So, for example, you would spell the word bequäm, meaning comfortable, with a Q-U, but you would say bequäm, k. Then we have the R, and the R in Zürich, Swiss German, is pronounced the following way. You put the tip of your tongue against, or you kind of touch your teeth. So it's dental. R, 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 Räge, Räge, meaning rain. Räge, Räge. So you can almost see my tongue. So it's not the rolling You don't do this motion with your tongue, you put it in front. I don't even know if that makes sense. Then, as I said, the T is unaspirated. And the V, which we call fowl, has two pronunciations. Either it's pronounced as a V, or as a F. Or the word Vogel, meaning bird, is also spelled with a V, but it's pronounced as an F. But then there's words like Velo, meaning bicycle in Swiss German. Velo, spelled with a V and pronounced with a V. The W, which we call V, which is pronounced as a V. So that is the reason actually why a lot of Swiss people and a lot of Germans, if you listen closely, have real problems pronouncing words properly which start with a W or a V. So we can say water, but then if there's a word that starts with V as in verb, I sometimes say verb instead of verb. So we have this problem because the W is for us pronounced like a V and the V is pronounced like a V or an F. We sometimes just kind of mix it up when we speak English. X, which we call X, as in the name Xavier, for example, which is spelled with an X, we would say Xavier, X. Then the Y is either pronounced, which we call Y, it is either pronounced as an Ü, the umlaut Ü, or as a long E, or long I, basically, E. So, for example, Egypt, which is also spelled with a Y, we would say Äghyptä, or we have the canton Schwyz, and I'm not talking about the country Schwyz, which, well, Switzerland, we call it Schwyz. We also have a canton which is called Schwyz. The difference is the canton is spelled with a Y, and the country is spelled with a double E, or double I, basically. So Schwyz with a double I means Switzerland, and Schwyz with a Y means Canton Schwyz. And finally we have the Z or Z, which we call Z. That is pronounced the following way, z, z, as in the word zebra, meaning zebra, spelled exactly the same way as in English, but pronounced differently, zebra. That's it. That's all. I hope you're all doing great, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!